Hello, Houston. Welcome to the Catholic Lunch Break, where we catch up on everything Catholic in Houston. My name is Tim Mott, the general manager of this radio station, and we get to come to you every Monday to let you know what's going on in Houston, to hear from you. Matter of fact, we're going to be hopefully taking a few of your phone calls today, so stay tuned for that. And we've got a question that I'm sure many of you have some strong opinions about. But we're also going to be catching up with all of our friends here in the studio. We've got Wyatt, we've got Carol, we've got Taylor, we've got Valeria, we've got Corey, we got everybody. Not all of them on microphones though, but we've got you most importantly, and a guest from Gratia, Plena Catholic Counseling, talking about a mini retreat that's coming up soon. You may want to be participating in that. If you haven't heard of Gratia Plena, please do stick around. It's one of the best Catholic apostolates that is doing some really good work here in the Houston area. And also our CyberCatholic segment, a monthly CyberCatholic segment where we figure out kind of, how technology impacts our lives as Catholics. And Paul Stasel from St. Teresa's in Sugar Land is going to be joining us for that. Let's go ahead and start with our opening prayer, though. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Remember, O most gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone who fled to thy protection, implored thy help, or sought thine intercession was left unaided. Inspired by this confidence, I fly unto thee, O Virgin of Virgins, my mother. To thee do I come, before thee I stand, sinful and sorrowful. O Mother of the Word incarnate, despise not my petitions, but in thy mercy hear and answer me. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Well, the first Catholic that I want to check in with here on the memorial of St. Francis of Cabrini, St. Francis Cabrini, I should say, is our executive director, Wyatt Goolsby. First of all, Wyatt, thank you so much for filling in for me last week when I was on my surprise trip to Oregon. And I almost gave the surprise away on the show before that. Remember when I was telling the audience where I was going to be? I was like, wait, I can't say that because my dad might be listening. And Dad, if you're listening now, again, happy birthday. It was so great to spend some time with you. My dad turned 70. He turned
pretty
70.
amazing.
My mom threw him a surprise birthday party, but my youngest brother threw a surprise for both my mom and my dad because he came from Ohio. He got airplane tickets for my sister from Tennessee and me from Houston. We all converged in Salem, Oregon, and gave my dad probably the best thing that he wanted. That was time with family.
And Tim, I appreciate your showing me the video of it afterwards with you and your siblings surprising him.
Oh yeah, my sister's
cried.
she really knows how to use Instagram pretty well. I posted that video in our Facebook group, so if anyone wants to go see it at GRN Houston on Facebook.
Well, I will tell you, I'm happy to fill in for you. I know you were gone, but Carol and I were plugging along, and we missed you a little bit there, but we had a great show. We had some great guests. Obviously, Father Stephen Reynolds was back, and so it was very joyful.
It's an easy show when you have Father Reynolds. Yeah,
it is. Yes, he's such a wealth of knowledge.
He is, and I need to catch up on what Dr. Kerwan was talking about. Was that an interesting interview?
It was. He was talking about some of the new degrees. Graduate degrees at the University of St. Thomas, masters in particular. So they've been reworking it to make it even better. Well, even though they're already, elite in terms of theology degrees.
Oh, it's a good thing this show is podcasted because that means I can go back and listen to it myself, even though I wasn't here. But catching up on this week, since the last show, today is the feast of St. Francis Cabrini, who was actually the first U.S. citizen to be canonized. And we have a St. Francis Cabrini Church here in Houston. You were there just this last weekend. How was that?
That's right. I was there yesterday for their annual fall festival, timely, of course, for the feast day right beforehand. Really appreciate Father Nicholas, their pastor there, Father Nicholas Ramirez, and I actually got to meet his mother who was there. His parents were there as well, so it was a very nice occasion to be able to be in such a welcoming community. And, I had one of those moments that I want to tell you about, Tim, when I was there, that it's sort of one of those God moments.
I love those.
Yeah, I had a moment where I really got goosebumps, and it's hard to describe, but as you know, within the 8.5 months that I've been working here at the Guadalupe Radio Network, I've had a few moments like these where you kind of think that God's around, or at least Our Lady is watching over us. Of course, we're the Guadalupe Radio Network, named in honor of Our Lady of Guadalupe. And so what happened, Tim, was I set up a promo table. As you know, we normally do. We give out flyers and bumper stickers.
We do this a lot, yes.
Hey, we do it a lot. And I was set up in the hall, in the walkway that was across from the church at St. Francis Cabrini, over to where they have some of their classrooms, and they're having their big fall festival. And I set up a table where people were walking, high traffic area, people may be able to, pick up a bumper sticker. And I set up the table completely. I have a photo here that I'm showing you. It's me by the table. Didn't think too much of it. When I was finished setting up the table, I looked up to the wall of the building, and lo and behold, right next to me was a mosaic of Our Lady of Guadalupe appearing to Juan Diego.
And you didn't even plan that.
And I did not plan that. And that was one of those moments where I said, wow.
The framing on that is absolutely perfect. You did post that in our group too, right?
I did. Let me, I was going to show, actually, I think the camera's on it, so let me show the camera as well. It's a picture of me. Again, I set up the promo table there and didn't even think about it, just thought it was a nice area to where I could say hello to people. And then lo and behold, I look up and Our Lady of Guadalupe is right there.
It's like we say in radio, the Holy Spirit is the executive producer, and so he directs everything.
And I will tell you, this is not the first time this happened. We had a prayer breakfast in the Galleria, and right where we were set up, there was an image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. So this seems to keep happening.
Yeah. I mean, some of those we do plan, like the big image of Our Lady Guadalupe in the studio here. I mean,
some we do, but. It's pretty amazing when you look up and you don't necessarily plan for it.
You look for those little signs.
Right.
Those little signs that you're doing the right thing and God's with you and it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume you had a great time there at St. Francis Cabrini. And
yes,
a lot of people came up.
It was a lot of fun. The problem, of course, is that, we've had this torrential rain here in Houston. So it started really pouring around 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. So a bunch of us had to kind of get up under cover, and people had to get indoors, where the bingo was, where inside the buildings were. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much for taking care of that this last weekend and for greeting and bringing new listeners into the fold. So anyone listening right now from St. Francis Cabrini, this is a shout out to you. If any of you want to go see the video that we are simulcasting right now online, you can go to any of our social medias, GRN Online on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, GRN Online. Unfortunately, we don't have the video in the app yet, but I'm told that a new app is in development that should include video capabilities. I don't know any ETA on that, but download the Guadalupe Radio Network app and you'll get a notification when it's time.
It's baby steps. We're always improving here.
But we do have the video on Facebook right now.
Yes.
That's kind of the main place for it, or YouTube, GRN Online. Also with us is Carol Herrera, our super volunteer. Thank you for bringing cookies again today, Carol.
You're
so
welcome.
sweet. You're so sweet. But you're still doing your pilgrimage to visit every single church in the Archdiocese.
Yes, I am, Tim. Yes.
Okay, good.
Excuse my voice. I'm a little bit under the weather because of the allergies, and I'm sure I'm not the only one in Houston going through this. So anyway, we're a family here, okay? So
it comes in with those fronts sometimes in the fall.
Right.
Yeah. But where were you yesterday for church?
Yeah, this weekend I went to St. Joseph Catholic Church in New Waverly, Texas.
Oh, in New Waverly, not the St. Joseph in downtown.
No, not
the
that
St.
one.
Joseph
There's
in New
a couple
Waverly.
of St. Joseph Catholic churches in the diocese, and this one is north in New Waverly. So that's where I went.
Drive.
Yes, it is about an hour's drive north going toward Dallas. And talk about unexpected. I mean, this parish is overwhelming. I was just in awe when I got there, Tim. I saw the picture on the website, and I thought, wow, it can't be this beautiful. Oh, my goodness. It's even prettier in person. But anyway, the church has a Gothic look inside and out, and it's tall, and it's a white building, and it has Gothic spheres and pointed arches.
Wow.
I mean, the kind you would see, it's somewhere else.
Like
those
old-looking buildings.
Like abroad,
Yeah.
And inside it has a natural, like this grand cathedral look. The kind you would see, as a cathedral like the one in downtown Houston.
It's not a cathedral.
And it's not. No, it's not.
That's just the architectural style.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it has incredible stained glass windows and tall columns, And anyway, the main chapel, too, is breathtaking. I sat in the balcony this time. I usually don't do that.
Were there a lot of people there?
I went to the 11 o'clock Mass, and yes, I would say a lot of people, yes.
Wow,
because
okay.
they did see us in that balcony because there was the downstairs was full.
Well, that's good to
hear.
hear.
Encouraging news, too, that more and more people are going to church, not only in Houston, but in the rural areas, too. a return to Mass. And that's one of the things that I was hoping to accomplish by going on this pilgrimage, that as they hear me talking about these beautiful parishes throughout Houston, or whoever talking about them, that they return to Mass, because, that's where it all is. That's where it is, okay? That's where it's happening. But anyway, I sat in the balcony, and I was able to see the main chapel from another vantage point, and they had statues of Saint Peter, Saint Paul, and a statue of Jesus on the cross, and 3 Marys at his feet. And the side altars are just as beautiful as that, and they have a statue of St. Joseph on one side and St. Mary on the other side. So the entire church had just incredible features, including
the baptismal font? Yes? Okay. I know you like to compare
You
baptismal
got it,
fonts
Tim.
everywhere you
got
go.
it. You can't pull one
So
over
you got
Tim.
some
You
big
can't
ones,
pull one over his
got
head.
some of those stands,
Not
the
Tim.
positioning
Not
of them. So tell me about this one.
Well, this
Okay.
baptismal
Yeah.
font is not a walk-in. It's a smaller one, but it has 2 beautiful statues of Saint John the Baptist baptizing Jesus. So that was beautiful, and it's marble, and it's tall, and it's really, really nice. Again, it has that Gothic look about it. Anyway, and I talked to some of the people there, and the people were really friendly. Now,
Well,
this
maybe
church,
we got some new listeners from
maybe
St. Joseph,
so, Tim,
New
and I
Waverly.
did talk about
Yeah.
our show with
Our signal
with,
does reach that far.
it does
Yeah.
reach that far, absolutely. And just FYI, this church was declared a historical site by the Texas Historical Commission in 1976. So if you want to learn more about St. Joseph Parish in Waverly, go to st-joseph.org, josephtx.org. Let me say that again, st-josephtx.org.
Thank you so much,
And if you're near
Carol.
that part of town, please stop in New Waverly and
Sounds like it's
take
worth
a look
a trip.
at. Oh,
even
absolutely.
if you're not in that part
Absolutely,
of town.
Tim. Yes, you're
Maybe
right.
making a special pilgrimage of yourself.
It's beautiful.
Okay, very cool. Very
Thank
cool.
you, Tim.
Oh, thank you, Carol. So normally we'd be going to our Loving Choice Minute right now, but because you mentioned that architecture, I think our Loving Choice guest will be okay holding on just
Sure.
for a minute, because I was just at Annunciation yesterday. I was there for the second Sunday Vespers that they do, and it was really cool. Speaking of churches with great architecture,
Oh, my goodness.
Annunciation downtown,
Yes.
they've had seminars and conferences on the architecture there. But the really cool thing that I saw was a Eucharistic Revival passport. They had these set out there on the front desk as you walk in. I was looking for where the bumper stickers were,
Sure.
of course. But I saw these Eucharistic Revival passports, and I'm like, what a great idea! Have you seen those around?
No.
Why? Have you seen
Didn't know
those?
they
have
existed.
not,
Okay,
no.
so
No,
one
no.
of the churches on this passport is actually St. Anne's on Westheimer, and so it was this cool little booklet. It's got the logo from the Eucharistic Revival on it. So if you go to eucharisticrevival.org, you'll see that logo. I tried to search for these to see if the Houston ones were available online anywhere. This is the first I encountered of it, so I'm going to need to talk to some of these pastors to see if we can get these distributed even better. So the way it works, it's this little passport that has 7 churches listed, and this one's specific for Houston. So there's 7 churches. Annunciation's one of them. St. Anne's on Westheimer's another. I believe St. Joseph was in there as well, but the one downtown.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then they had a special one for the shrine of Our Lady of Schoenstatt in Austin. So you go to you get adoration at these different churches, and there's a special stamp that you can get and stamp it in that passport.
That's
I was like, this is the
cool.
coolest
Oh, that's
idea. To going to
absolutely,
all
you're
these different
right.
churches in the Houston area to do adoration at those little as a pilgrimage, and then get your stamp in there so that you can complete your progress. I think you can even maybe upload it online to show that you've completed it. It's just
Is
it's
it
a
5?
really
You said 5 of them? 5 parishes?
7.
7.
7 parishes, yeah, including that one shrine in Austin. So that's one of them. But when you said talk about the architecture at St. Joseph in New Waverly, that's what reminded me of this. And
Yes.
it was a really well put together booklet. It looked really good. It was easy to read. It had a great suggested structure for how to do a holy hour. So if you've ever wondered, like, what do I do for a holy hour, or you have trouble falling asleep during a holy hour, there were these great little tips in there that I was like, oh yeah, that's what I like to do. But this is even a better idea. Maybe I'll try that next time.
Sure.
And I loved how it was all put together. So
I'm gonna look into it.
If
I've never
you
heard
Pretty
of it
cool.
before.
yeah, if you've
it
seen
is,
these,
it
look
is.
for them at your
Sounds
parish.
exciting,
Look
too.
for them at your parish, and if you see these, post a picture of it in our Facebook group. You can do that. Go to GRN Houston on Facebook, and just post a picture there in the group. I want to see your progress going to all of these different adorations in Houston. So now let's go to our Loving Choice guest. You're listening to the Catholic Lunch Break, where we catch up on everything Catholic in Houston, and every week we catch up with the only Catholic pregnancy help center in the Houston area, which is Loving Choice Catholic Pregnancy Help Center. Today we're talking to Maria Contreras, who is a client of Loving Choice. Maria, welcome to the Catholic Lunch Break.
Hello.
Hello, it's good to have you here. So you're a client of Loving Choice. Since Loving Choice is a Catholic Pregnancy Help Center, can you tell us why you chose to go and use their services? Why did you choose to go to Loving Choice?
I had just passed by down the street from there, and I seen, and at the time, well, I was pregnant. I was like maybe a few weeks pregnant, and I really didn't have insurance or anything like that. And I've seen that they did free pregnancy tests and free ultrasounds. And when you're pregnant, sometimes you just want to see the baby. You want to see how they're growing, and you want to see how they're doing and hear the heartbeats. So I just went in there.
Yeah, free is great, especially when you're dealing with expensive medical procedures. But Loving Choice has that ultrasound machine right there, so that's what went in there. That's why you went in. Was this your first child, or have you had others?
I have others, yeah. So
okay.
This was like my fourth pregnancy, yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So this was your fourth pregnancy, and so you kind of had an idea of what was going into it. When you went into Loving Choice, what was the reception that they gave to you? What was it like when they greeted you?
Oh, it was amazing. They were so kind. They just sit me down in the waiting area, but the ladies that, when I first met them, like, they were really, really nice. And some other facilities, I think they're like sometimes a little bit rude and stuff in other clinics, but right there they were really nice. Like, they were really, really sweet. They just made me feel comfortable right when I went inside.
Yeah, that's one of the highest priorities there. I've talked to a lot of the volunteers, and they always talk about how they try to treat the clients with as much respect and dignity and care as possible. It sounds like you got that. Did you have to go through a lot of stuff before they did the ultrasound for you, or was it pretty quick?
Well, first, I did spoke to somebody, and her name is Miss Ann. How I know there's some, moms out there that sometimes, they really can't do it with their kids. So sometimes they want to abort. So they really try to advise you so much on what to do with your pregnancy, even if you're not having, even if you're having like financial, problems. They try to help you out as much as you can, and they try to see what your plans are, after you have your baby. But, they try to help you out. Like, look, we'll help you with this if you need this, if you need that. Like, they just try to advise you, and they try to tell you, on how much they can help you out before you even go into the ultrasound. Yeah.
Okay, good. So how long were you a client there? Did you go back for multiple sessions, or was it just like a one-time appointment?
I went there for like my ultrasound, and I continue to go, like, because they just don't do ultrasound appointments, or they just don't deal with pregnancies. They also help people out, in single moms, when they're, because there's a lot of moms that are actually doing it alone.
Yeah.
And I think really
if you don't mind my asking, are you a single mom, or is
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm actually married.
Good for you. Hopefully your husband's very supportive of this and in all the pregnancies. And what was your favorite part of being a client at Loving Choice? Because I know they've got the baby boutique, they've got social kind of things you can participate in, classes. I don't know what did you do, and what was your favorite part?
I think my favorite part was I don't know. I just really, I want to name a person, right, Miss Ann. There was like, we had a lot of problems, financial problems at my home. And Miss Ann was always like a counselor, like someone that I could speak to, because I'm just usually here like by myself, with my kids. He goes out to work, and as a mom of 4 kids, like, it's kind of frustrating because all my kids are like kind of back to back. And I think Miss Ann was always the type of woman that would like text me. Like, she would always text, Maria, how are you doing? Like, she was always checking up on me. And little did she know, that she was actually a help for me, so I won't get like so frustrated. So I think that was my favorite part, that not only her, but Miss Norma also. They would always check up on you. They just don't try to help you financially or help you out with your needs. They also try to see how you're doing. Like they seem like they care for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so many of the volunteers I've talked to, they love that personal connection that they make
Yes,
with the
exactly.
clients
That's what
like
it
you.
is.
And any of our listeners right now actually could become some of those volunteers. So maybe if you go back for another pregnancy, you don't have to stop at 4. You never know. You might be meeting someone who's listening right now. You never know.
Yeah.
So yeah, Maria, I thank you so much for sharing your story. We're just about out of time for this, but I wanted to ask one more question. What difference do you think it made in your pregnancy, in your parenting, that you're being involved in Loving Choice? Do you think things would be different if you hadn't gone there?
Yeah, honestly, yes. They actually provided with everything. Like my baby needed like Pampers, wipes, clothes, baby clothes, like a lot of things. And honestly, we were going through, like I said, a lot of economical problems. So my husband, he wasn't really working as much. So it was like a great blessing to me that that I went there, because otherwise my baby wouldn't have had like so much clothes, or I wouldn't have had Pampers for her, because we were actually going through it really bad. And they helped us out so much, honestly. And it was a great blessing coming to them.
A great success story there. You are a great success story. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Maria Contreras from Loving Choice here on the Catholic Lunch Break.
Thank you.
Oh, God bless you. And you're welcome to come back anytime you like. If you ever want to bring your kids down to the radio studio to visit, I'd love to show you around.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
God bless. If you listeners would like to get involved in Loving Choice, or even just learn more about it, you can go to loving-choice.org, loving-choice.org, and find out how you can help people just like Maria. We're going to be taking a quick break here, but I mentioned that we have a survey question for you if you would like to call in and be part of today's show. I am absolutely stunned at how early all of the Christmas decorations are going up. It was before Halloween this year. Okay, so my question to you is, do you like to celebrate Christmas early? Like, I would consider November early, even like day after Thanksgiving. That's kind of early for me as a Catholic. Now, I really, really love Christmas, so I personally do like celebrating Christmas early, but even it seems like before Halloween is a little bit of a stretch. So my first question: do you like to celebrate Christmas early, or do you like to wait until Christmas Day before you really get the festivities started? And then second question: if you do like to wait and you don't like celebrating Christmas early in December or in November, how do you stay sane through Advent? Because it's everywhere. All the radio stations, all the music, all of the elevator music, and the decorations in the stores and the neighborhoods, it's all up now. So how do you stay sane and practice a holy penitential Advent getting ready for Christmas? I want some tips and advice on that, because I'm torn. I don't know which way to go. I don't know whether to celebrate Christmas for 3 months or to really kind of, power through and ignore everything around me until December 25th. So call in now, and we've got Corey and Valeria who will be taking your call. The number to call is 832-364-6044. 832-364-6044. Let them know that you want to be part of the show. Do you celebrate Christmas early? Do you prefer to wait? And if you do prefer to wait, how do you stay sane during Advent? 832-364-6044. We only have 2 more shows of this program before Advent starts. So I need your advice. 832-364-6044. And Carol, what's your opinion? You can weigh in right now.
I wanted to add my 2 cents.
Go for it.
Please.
Go for it.
I like to wait after Thanksgiving and start celebrating.
So you start after Thanksgiving?
After, yes. I think it's too soon. I think we're passing over Thanksgiving, and I don't like that, because that's the time to give thanks as well. And I'm like, what the heck? What's going
it's like
on
everyone's
here?
just merging all the holidays in the one 3-month holiday.
Yes, so I'm with you. I prefer to wait till after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents.
Okay, so at least after Thanksgiving,
that's my vote.
And then you just go for it.
Yes,
Christmas
I do.
music all the way.
There you go. Now I don't have to call in.
Okay. Now you don't have to call in.
I
You're
don't have
right
to
here.
call in now.
That's Carol for you. 832-364-6044. You're listening to the Catholic Lunch Break, where we catch up on everything Catholic in Houston. My name is Tim, and we'll be back right after this.
Join us in person to pray for peace in the Holy Land and Ukraine. Annunciation Catholic Church is hosting a rally for peace at Herman Park Saturday afternoon, November 18th. Families, groups, and all people are invited to attend. Rosaries will be provided. Help us pray for the intercession of our Blessed Mother for an end to the war and violence. The Rally for Peace is Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, November 18th at Herman Park. For more information, check out Annunciation's new Rosary Center at annunciationcc.org.
'Tis the season to celebrate Guadalupe Radio. Tim Mott here, General Manager of AM 1430 KSHJ. I wanted to let you know that on November 28th, you can experience the joy of Catholic radio and help bring that joy to others as well. It's our Christmas Share-a-thon with the theme, Joy to the World. So let's bring that joy to the world together. Help answer the phones, sponsor a matching gift hour, organize a prayer circle, or even just tell a friend about Catholic radio. Contact me, Tim, at grnonline.com. Southeast Houston Cardiology is a proud sponsor of this Guadalupe Radio Network station and The Doctor is In with Dr. Ray Garendi. Southeast Houston Cardiology has been serving patients with heart disease and vascular disease with up-to-date, compassionate, and comprehensive care for more than 20 years. Southeast Houston Cardiology has 2 locations, Webster and Pasadena. You can contact them online at southeasthoustoncardiology.com or 281-338-4004.
Are you retired or making plans to retire? If so, join us for Gratia Plena's Advent Mini Retreat on November 30th. Carol Polzer will present Come Wait in Hope for the Christ Child Who Loves You Unconditionally. Choose from either a morning or evening online session. If retirement is on your mind, this retreat is for you. That's Gratia Plena's Advent Mini Retreat, November 30th with Carol Polzer. For more information, call 832-532-0129.
You're listening to the Catholic Lunch Break, where we catch up on everything Catholic in Houston. To be part of the show today, give a call to 832-364-6044. I'll give that number out a few more times because I know it's we don't often do calls on this show, so you may not have that ready to go, and you may not. Phone numbers don't stick in our heads like they used to. So the number is 832-364-6044. I'd like to go now to our monthly CyberCatholic segment. I don't think we have a sound effect stinger for this one yet, but CyberCatholic, where we figure out kind of how technology impacts us as Catholics. We have a cybersecurity expert here in Houston, Paul Stasel. Paul Stasel is also on staff at St. Teresa's in Sugar Land, which happens to be my church. Paul, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. You enjoying the rain, or are you a Texan who hates it?
I will just never complain if the temperature is below 90.
There you go.
Everything else is fair game to me.
That's awesome. Okay, so you are the CyberCatholic man himself, as I like to say. That's the moniker I gave you. But you were speaking at a webinar. A live seminar for moms recently.
Yeah. So shout out to Maria and Nelson over at Catholic Charities. They have a new facility, the St. Austin Center, on the 2000 block of South Wayside, if I'm remembering the address correctly. There they have a 16-week program that mothers can enroll in. They, of course, get resources as need be, and then classes. So forget which one it was. It might have been Nelson heard us on the radio a few months ago and invited me out there. So
wait, so you're saying radio actually works?
It does.
I love it. Okay, great.
So
you do these kind of seminars. What kind of topics do you cover?
Well, in the short period of time that I have, I can talk for hours and hours about it, but I just hit the basics with cybersecurity, and there's essentially 2 elements. One is, what do we do for our own well-being and security? So we teach digital literacy, digital hygiene. That's just an all-encompassing thing. But then as parents are also concerned about is how we roll technology out to children. Mm-hmm. So like St. Teresa's Catholic School in Sugar Land, we've adopted the Wait Till 8th program, which essentially says we don't need to give smartphones out to anybody before the 8th grade at the very, very earliest.
Very earliest. Yeah, much later is even better.
Exactly. Okay. So I was pitching that out to them. And also, I also talk about Gratia Plena counseling with them.
Really?
Because
they're going to be on later in the show.
That's great. So we have a great segue here for that. But we were trying to give them the opportunity to learn about building a trust relationship with their children, dealing with anxiety issues that children often have, the rise in depression, and so on, particularly in teens, with the use of social media. So these were all things that I was talking about with them and offering Gratia Plena as a resource as well for them to get that kind of counseling if they need it.
So what kind of response did you get from the people there in the room? Were they pretty interested?
They were very engaging. Of course, they all have to be there to some degree in order to qualify, check all the boxes. But none of them acted like they were there because they had to be there. They were all very engaging. They asked a lot of questions. They were very receptive to what I gave them. And it's certainly an underserved community. And just to say, I was only speaking to the English half. They on alternate Thursdays, they have the Spanish group there. So we're looking for somebody that might be willing to team up with me to give the same information in Spanish.
Okay, great. So maybe a bilingual speaker out there, bilingual listener could, would you train them, or do you need someone who really knows their stuff?
We could work together.
Okay.
I think.
So they don't have to be like at your super cybersecurity level.
Oh well, no. Let's not elevate me too much here. But I've been in it for a long time, and I have a passion for it. And we need someone that has that same passion. And you don't have to be tech savvy in order to understand cybersecurity.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Well, that could be one of our future topics. But I really I wanted to get back to our topic that we left short last time when you were here back in October. So I wanted to cover AI, artificial intelligence. It's come up even more in the past month since we talked about it. Like every time I open a browser to do a search, it's asking me, "Hey, would you like to do an AI search?" I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm even getting notifications on my phone now that I can download these tools.
I was visiting my parents in Oregon, and my mom was having fun making AI images and changing people's avatars and stuff, asking AI to do it. I'm like, this is weird. This is weird. Like my mom is doing this. Okay.
So the AI isn't weird. It was your mom that was engaging in it. That was the weird part.
But they're both weird. I love my mom. But yeah, so AI, it's a new frontier for a lot of us. Just being seems like computers are thinking somehow. How does this affect us as Catholics? How does this affect us as parents? How does this affect us with cybersecurity?
Well, being a catechetical director, I talk to hundreds of parents, have the opportunity to speak to hundreds of parents. And the overwhelming message is that a lot of them just want to stay away from it. And we tend to fear the things that we don't understand. And I think that if we took a few moments just to look at AI, first of all, it's been around for nearly half a century.
Wait, half a century?
Yes, well, not quite as we know
forms.
it. But
what was AI 50 years ago look like?
So I think it was in the early 50s when the first checkers game was, there was a micro or a processor that was programmed to learn patterns in checkers and to actually learn how to play the game. But these days,
so you mean by AI, you just mean a computer that can change its programming a little bit.
Well,
right?
so intelligence is the ability to make decisions based upon experience, right? I mean, that's a very watered down definition of it, but let's just for the sake of time. And then the artificial element is that we've got a programmed microprocessor or software that allows us to work a little bit easier. So it will recognize patterns and do things for us that would otherwise take up some more of our time. And so we land airplanes using artificial intelligence. We have surgeries that can be done with artificial intelligence.
Wow.
It's supposed to be meant as a tool, however. And I think one of the things we missed out at the last session, we just ran out of time, was like, well, what is the Catholic perspective of this?
Yeah. Okay. So it feels new, but it's not necessarily new. It's just there's this new kind of aspect of it.
Well, ChatGPT launched about a year ago, right?
Into our daily lives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's now in the hands of anybody, and this is the part that people are fearing.
I see.
Because we hear that on the news there's AI that just with a snippet of someone's voice, they can now use AI to mimic that person's voice and make a call to grandma saying, I'm in a lot of trouble, I need you to send me money, etc.
So it's not necessarily the tool that we're fearing, it's the people that have the
tool.
Exactly.
Because everybody has
there you go.
Everyone has access to it. So
Gotcha. Okay, so what are your recommendations for the average person who's like me, just kind of like, this feels new and a little weird, I kind of want to avoid it. What's your advice?
Well, I say first, if you want to get educated about it, you want to learn more about it. It's not going to go away, all right. And so I think that it's an important message that if we as Catholics don't embrace new technologies as they come along, then we're going to let the world mold its path rather than the church have that influence. We want to make sure that the church, the laity is the biggest. We're the biggest part of the church, right? So we have this responsibility ourselves as parents, as fellow citizens, to make sure that morality is not something that gets excluded with the use of this technology.
Oh, yeah.
So, for example, I might use AI in order to make an aspect of my job easier. But if I use it to essentially replace work so I can sit back and, be lazy, then that could be an occasion of sin, right? Because we're called to till the soil. We're called to work. And then furthermore, as a business owner, I wouldn't want to have somebody that could not be employed simply because I'd rather save a buck and use artificial intelligence or any other type of machine for that matter. So we don't want to remove human dignity, and that's the message from the church, is that we must, remembering that God made us to get us to heaven, and he made everything as a means to get us there, right? So we even technology that endeavors to make our lives easier, we should remember to always hold the respect of the human person.
Okay, so a couple things that I'm feeling coming or that I'm getting coming from this is, number one, AI is not made in the image of God. It is not computers coming alive and becoming sentient. It's a type of programming that can make decisions based on past experience.
That is correct. I mean, somebody is still behind there programming the artificial intelligence to begin with.
So even though we can give it a voice, even though it can fake things, even though it feels like interacting with a person sometimes, it's not.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think we're a long ways from cybernetic warfare. A lot of things we see in science fiction movie. But if we could imagine it, it could potentially happen.
Yeah.
And along the way, what we don't want to do is lose our soul.
That
Right.
makes
Don't want to lose our soul in this technology.
Okay, and so the second thing that I'm hearing coming from you is that this is a tool, but there are a lot of drawbacks to it, a lot of cautions that we need to consider. Like you said, replacing jobs that humans could do just for crappier work from an AI because it's cheaper. Well, that's not a human dignity thing. We want to maintain the dignity of the human, and like being ourselves, like using it as an occasion for sin, to be lazy, slothful. We don't want to do that,
right?
Or deceptive. We don't want to be deceptive either.
Like a student wanting to use AI to write a report when they need to be doing that themselves.
What are some of the good uses of AI that you see? I'm picturing like a church office, like a church secretary or a pastor. How could AI benefit that kind of workload?
Well, I wouldn't recommend that a pastor use AI to write their next homily.
That would might be a fun experiment, though.
Well, but I did put into ChatGPT, what should I do to become a faithful Catholic, or what do I do in order to remain a faithful Catholic? And the answer it gave me was pretty surprising. I mean, it hit all the points. I could literally take that answer and use it to teach a class. So there are when we are using the technology in order to gain better answers than what we might get from a traditional search engine, I see a lot of great use coming from that.
It's like a research tool.
It's a research tool, but
you can't just believe every answer that it gives you because it's not necessarily accurate.
No,
but you can use it as a starting point, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's like just you don't want to use Google Translate maybe for Spanish exactly. Because I speak a little bit of Spanish and I've used Google Translate a couple times and it's like that does not work out so well.
My favorite Google Translate meme was the Kyrie eleison. Have you seen that one?
I have not.
Okay, so apparently if you plug in Kyrie eleison in modern Greek to Google Translate, it comes back as "Sir, take it easy."
Oh, that's great.
Lord have mercy, sir, take it easy. You can kind of see the connection, but that's how Google Translate works. So AI is the same kind of thing. You ask it how to become a good Catholic, it might give you a "sir, take it easy" kind of answer.
Well, it could, right? But I mean, I was still pretty impressed with the answer that I got. But we still have to use our own intelligence to ascertain or measure the success of the artificial intelligence. And even ChatGPT says, we don't always get it quite right. This is all just intended as a production development environment.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we do have to take the time to quality assure any results that we would use in it.
Okay. Well, Paul Stasel, a CyberCatholic. We're talking about AI on the Catholic Lunch Break right now. We're just about out of time for this segment, but is there any final word that you want to give to the listeners or any kind of general cybersecurity advice that you feel we really need right now?
Well, just with the shopping season certainly coming upon us, AI is no doubt being leveraged for scams and such. And I often just admonish people to always check with the source. If you're getting something that looks unusual, it's probably suspect and you need to check directly with the source. And that's not just with AI, of course, that's with anything. But AI is definitely a greater opportunity for people to come up with new ways to do the old tricks.
Oh, man. Okay, so just if you want to follow Paul or you have any questions about cybersecurity, they can email you, right?
Certainly. Paul at sugarlandcatholic.com. Paul at sugarlandcatholic.com.
Well, thank you so much, Paul Stasel, CyberCatholic, for joining us here on the Catholic Lunch Break. I put out a question to you listeners earlier. Do you like to celebrate Christmas early, as it seems to be done so much in our neighborhoods and stores and radio stations and music and everything? Or do you like to wait until Advent is over to celebrate Christmas? I'm kind of torn myself because I love the Christmas paraphernalia and all of that stuff that goes with it, but I like living by the liturgical calendar. If you do want to wait, how do you stay sane through Advent? The number you can call to be part of today's show is 832-364-6044, 832-364-6044, and I believe we have a caller on the line. Taylor, can we put the caller through right now? Okay, caller, I believe Chris, are you with us? Great.
Good afternoon. Yes, I am. I love listening to the show.
Why, thank you so much. Which parish do you go to?
I go to St. Elizabeth and Seton in Keller, Texas.
Oh, in Keller,
wow.
Texas. Okay, great. What is your opinion on celebrating Christmas early?
I'd say my birthday is on Christmas Day. And I always hate at the end of the Christmas season, everything's gone and everybody puts everything away. So I think we need to extend it as long as we can. So celebrating early would be great.
Well, what's it like to celebrate a birthday with Jesus? I mean, you share the same day, same birthday as our Lord.
That's a blessing.
Yes, we're especially good buddies. So
Amen.
I very much enjoy it.
Good. So when do you put up your tree? I guess that's the big question. When do you put up your tree?
I travel a lot, so every year it changes. But we like to put it up maybe December 5th to the 10th, somewhere around there.
Okay. So kind of splitting the difference there. You're not going before Halloween like everybody else, but you're also not waiting till Christmas Eve to put it up. So that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
Somewhere in the middle.
Well, having a birthday there, I'm sure that helps too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling in, Chris, and I look forward to talking with you again sometime.
Thank you. I was calling in also for the tickets for the radio show. Did I get put down the wrong funnel?
Okay, yeah, I think maybe you were looking for the Dallas show, the Good News show up there. Try calling back. Call back that number one more time, and they'll get you up there in Dallas. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Bye-bye.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Okay, you are listening to the Catholic Lunch Break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking with Gratia Plena Catholic Counseling about a new mini retreat that they're going to be hosting very soon. And if you're not familiar with Gratia Plena Counseling, you definitely want to stick around because it is one of the best Catholic apostolates here in the Houston area. You're listening to the Catholic Lunch Break on AM 1430.
This Thanksgiving, let someone else do the cooking. The Knights of Columbus is having a barbecue sale for Thanksgiving. Choose between a variety of different meals, including beef brisket, chicken, ribs, and turkey legs. Meals will be ready on Wednesday, November 22nd. Have your dinner covered, then adopt Fire Station number 75. The meals will be cooked and delivered to them. Thank you for supporting the Knights. For more information, go to sjmtx.org.
'Tis the season of giving. St. John Vianney is having a turkey and ham drive through November 15th. You can drop off your donations at the Parish Activity Center. Monetary donations are also greatly appreciated. Your assistance will benefit the local families and the West Houston Assistance Ministries. For more information, go to their website, stjohnvianney.org, or call the Parish Life Office at 281-497-1555. That's 281-497-1555. God love you.
'Tis the season to celebrate Guadalupe Radio. Tim Mott here, General Manager of AM 1430 KSHJ. I wanted to let you know that on November 28th, you can experience the joy of Catholic radio and help bring that joy to others as well. It's our Christmas Share-a-thon with the theme, Joy to the World. So let's bring that joy to the world together. Help answer the phones, sponsor a matching gift hour, organize a prayer circle, or even just tell a friend about Catholic radio. Contact me, Tim, at grnonline.com.
Deacon Glenn Trahan here, owner of the TRW family of companies and proud sponsor of the Guadalupe Radio Network. For 60 years, TRW has helped our clients to optimize the use of their facilities with operable wall products, creating effective, flexible, and acoustically controlled workspaces, making them more productive and successful. And TRW is committed to supporting ministries that also make our community and our world a better place, just like this Guadalupe Radio Network station. You can contact me at trwfamily.com. God bless.
You're listening to the Catholic Lunch Break, where we catch up on everything Catholic in Houston. My name is Tim Mott. I wanted to bring your attention to a few upcoming Catholic events that are happening. Actually, a couple of them are involving this radio station. So the first one is, you remember last year that Right Angles play that Father Nicholas Devine wrote? Oh, Carol, have you seen that one?
No, I haven't. I heard a lot about it, though.
Oh, you heard a lot about it? What did you hear?
I heard that it was a sold-out show.
Yeah.
And that the acting was incredible and everything else.
It was funny.
And it was funny. Yes, that's what I heard.
We've interviewed Father Nicholas Devine here
he
on
was
the
on the show
from Holy
last
Name Retreat
year.
Center.
That's right.
And it turns out he writes funny plays as well. Well, okay, they approached us and they said, "Do you think we could get this on the radio?" And I said, "That's a fantastic idea. If you can produce it." I don't have time to produce it, but if you can produce it, then yes, I think we can probably get that on the radio.
That would be great.
They are working. They have edited it to be audio only. They have edited it to fit in an hour so that we can fit it on the radio schedule. And they're going to be recording it here in the studio. So
that's fantastic,
yeah, that's
Tim.
pretty neat.
That is a first here for this station.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to
Oh,
that.
my
But the
goodness.
reason it's relevant to the audience right now, the
Okay.
reason it's relevant to the audience is because they're having a meet and greet this coming Thursday at Holy Name Retreat Center where you can get a preview of it. It's at 7 p.m. and they're going to have like some refreshments. You can meet the cast, you can meet Father Nicholas, and you can help support it by making donations if you want. They are a 501c3, the Right Angles play. So Holy Name Retreat Center this Thursday, 7 p.m. I think you can just show up. They're going to be glad to have you there. But if you want to RSVP, go to rightanglesplay.com. I think it's .com. Rightanglesplay.com. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is the Annunciation Catholic Church is having a Rosary Rally this Saturday at 2 p.m. in Herman Park. This is a rally, Annunciation Rosary Rally for Peace. If you remember, I think...
we did a public service announcement on that.
You did do a public service announcement. We recorded an interview with Father Felix, but I don't think it's aired yet, so I can't refer to that. But the Annunciation has this cool thing called the Rosary Center that they're launching, but they're also doing a Rosary Rally at Herman Park this Saturday at 2 p.m. It's going to be on the north side of McGovern Lake near Maine and Fannin. If you're interested in showing up to pray for peace in public, they have rosary giveaway rosaries there. So if you don't have one or you're
they will provide them. You're right.
Yeah, they will provide rosaries.
Provide a rosary
it's going to take about an hour. It's not a protest or anything. It is
No.
it's just a public witness of that the church and God is about peace. And so
Absolutely.
that's what we're praying for, especially with the war in the Ukraine and the war in the Holy Land. So Annunciation Catholic Church, if you want to get more information on that, go to their website, acchtx.org. Another thing that we have mentioned already is the In Memoria concert. We interviewed Dr. Rick Lopez about that just a couple weeks ago, I believe. But if you missed it, that is an archdiocesan concert that happens every year. It's at the Sacred Heart Co-Cathedral downtown. It's going to be this Sunday, November 19th. So it's at 3 o'clock. That one, I'm not sure you can get tickets at the door, so you may need to get tickets in advance. Go to the Co-Cathedral website, sacredhearthouston.org, $25 per person for tickets there. It's a beautiful, beautiful concert. I highly recommend it. In Memoria Concert, sacredhearthouston.org. And then the last thing that I wanted to bring your attention to is the Share-a-thon. Coming up 2 weeks from tomorrow. I don't know how these things sneak up on me. We have planning meetings for it, and then I get busy again. I'm like, wait,
Tim, you're
we
very
just had
busy,
our first
man.
planning
That's
meeting.
right.
That's our 5-week out planning meeting, but now it's 2 weeks out. I'm like, wait, how does this happen?
Goodness.
If you're interested in learning more about the Share-a-thon, I'm not going to take too much time for it right now. Email me, tim@grnonline.com. We have opportunities for you to sponsor matching gift hours. We have opportunities for you to come help us answer the phone and hang out with Carol, who's awesome. And we also have opportunities for you to join our prayer team. So email email me, tim@grnonline.com. But I don't want to take any more time away from Gratia Plena Catholic Counseling and Dorothy Godinez, who is joining us here. Dorothy, welcome to the Catholic Lunch Break.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
it's great to be back.
Glad to have you here. I know a lot about Gratia Plena, but maybe some of our listeners don't. So can you introduce yourself, or what's your role, and what is Gratia Plena?
Yeah, so like Tim said, my name is Dorothy, and I am actually the assistant clinical manager. So I work very closely with Dr. Ken, our executive director and founder. And his whole purpose was he's a psychologist, and he was just noticing that in the mental health field, it's just mainly a lot of secular things. And there was a lot of people that were coming to him and asking him, like, do you have any Catholic counselors? Do you know any Catholic therapists? And he was like, there's not really anything out there. And so he decided to pursue and began Gratia Plena, which is a nonprofit. And so his biggest vision for us is to help anyone, not just Catholics. We have all types of diverse clients that come in, and we offer mental health services at a sliding scale fee. So specifically too, that if you don't have insurance, or if your insurance is too expensive, you are welcome to come. Our doors are always open, and we can help you, and we want to help anybody and with anything. So a lot of stuff we do help with is mainly depression and anxiety, because those are very big ones.
Oh, yeah.
We've also recently noticed an increase in crisis situations. So people who are wanting to commit suicide, or have been thinking about like not being here and things like that, has been on the rise lately. And so that's some of the stuff that we've also been dealing with.
Oh, wow.
And then families, helping a lot of families, a lot of things going on, divorce, a lot of infidelity. And so being able to help people do that. Also addictions. We're really excited because we have some LCDCs coming on, which are licensed clinical chemical dependency, I believe.
Oh, okay.
There's lots of acronyms in mental health, so
yeah.
I don't remember them all. But we have some people that are going to be able to come and help specifically with like dual diagnosis, with dealing with substance abuse, and then also depression, anxiety as well. And then of course we just want to help anybody. So if you need any type of counseling, even if you don't know what counseling is, please give us a call.
Is counseling the kind of thing that you would recommend for everybody, or only people with specific needs?
I would say everybody has something they have to work on, right? Like we all have issues. We're not perfect.
Like we could all use a personal trainer, so we could all use a counselor.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that makes sense.
And even if you feel like you're doing well, like I have a friend who he was like, maybe I should go in. Like all this stuff's been happening. And like he came in and he talked with one of our counselors and got an assessment, and the counselor's like, honestly, you have been handling things pretty well. So, what I recommend is this: we just check in if you ever need anything in the future. And then now he's come back because some more recent stuff has popped up, and he's like, yeah, like it's awesome. Like now I meet with him every other week.
So having that baseline for when things were going well,
Right.
that way when things did go badly, he had a stronger start.
Right,
Okay.
right.
That makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. Now, as a Catholic, do you find that having the Catholic component there with all your counselors makes a difference in the service that the clients get?
Yes, I do. I believe that being able to share our faith, being able to pray, being able to talk about and like understand their worldview as a Catholic, because we are very different from the rest of the world right now. And actually, it was interesting. I just had lunch yesterday with a friend that is a secular counselor, and just kind of hearing her talk about the different things that her clients are dealing with, but she doesn't really integrate the faith into it. And hearing her, I was just very grateful and I told Dr. Ken this morning, I was very grateful that I have my faith, first off, to help me with the clients, and then secondly, that I get to share that with them, and I get to help them in that way.
Great. Well, tell me about this mini retreat that's coming up for retirees.
Yes. So one of our counselors decided to host, basically it's going to be like a webinar. So it's an online mini retreat.
Oh, that's easy. Okay.
It's an hour long. And we have a morning session and we have an evening session. And you'll receive a Teams link. There's a registration. You can register at Gratia Plena. And we have everything set up that's super easy. The cost is $25. And Miss Carol is one of our school counselors. That's come on.
Not our Carol.
Yeah.
Not,
different
not this Carol.
I am a retiree and I am listening, so okay, I have my ears open.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So Miss Carol decided to put something together because recently she did retire as well from school counseling, and she's still working with us part-time right now. And so this was something she was like, it can be online, so then I don't really have to get out. People don't have to come, and it's just easy.
It's actually easy for retirees who may not like driving very far.
Right.
You could get people from Humble. You could get people
Right.
from, New Waverly.
Yeah, but it's
You
just
could-
convenient
League
too at
City.
your home. You
Yeah,
to be able to do
convenient
it
in your
it's
home.
convenient.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll be able to record it so that we can also offer it.
So what do they
online.
what do they hope to what does Carol hope to provide for this?
So
to get out of it,
I
yeah.
believe that the title is, let me double check this, is Come Wait in Hope for the Christ Child Who Loves You Unconditionally.
Oh, this is like Advent themed.
Yes, it's
Okay.
it's Advent themed, and we're really excited. This is the first time we're kind of doing something like this. We've hosted other things in person, but I'm really excited. This is an online component, and looking forward to that. And I know Miss Carol is very much looking forward to being able to present and talk to the retirees. And like your life changes. There's lots of different life transitions, and I feel like this is an area of people that we're going to reach that hasn't really been reached out to.
Yeah. I remember growing up, you always think that when you get to be an adult, is things stop growing and they stay static. But that's not true. Like
No,
every
not
single
at all.
day, we're going through new growth, new developmental stages. Every day we encounter something we haven't seen before, and retirement is one of those big
Right.
steps.
Right, it
Yeah.
is. And your life changes. So what does that look like for your spiritual life? What does that look like, if you need help in that transition? Sometimes people lose their purpose within that transition. So
Yeah.
being able to just understand that Christ is there waiting for you and that he loves you, and then we can offer some great resources.
Okay, so is there a cost for this?
Yes, it is $25.
Okay.
And like I said, the registration is online at Gratia Plena counseling.org. And also you can call our office if you don't want to do the whole online thing. I get it. Paul was talking about AI.
Yeah.
So you can always also call our office, and then we will get you set up as well and signed up for
Okay,
it.
great. So gratiaplainacounseling.org, and Gratia Plena is GRATIA Plena. It's a Latin phrase, but it comes from the Ave Maria.
Right, from
Ave
full-
Maria,
yeah,
Gratia
full of grace.
Plena. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so-
if you have trouble spelling it, just
Google
Hail
it.
Mary in Latin, and you'll find it there. GratiaPlainaCounseling.org.
Don't use Google Translate because you might get something different.
I wonder what that would be. We have to try that. Ave Maria. Anyway, Dorothy Godinez, thank you so much for joining us and telling us about Gratia Plena. Do you have the phone number of the office handy, just in case some retirees listening?
I can get it for
I can stall for you for a minute.
Thanks. I have it right here. Okay,
for
so
it.
our phone number is 832-532-0129. Again, that's 832-532-0129. 0129.
Okay, and that's Gratia Plena. So they'll set you up right there. If you're a retiree, Carol, maybe
I'm
you should
listening.
go. Okay, great.
And we also have the public service announcement out, so hopefully people are listening to that too as well.
Wonderful. Well, the Catholic Lunch Break is underwritten in part by Loving Choice Catholic Pregnancy Help Center. Guided by the Holy Spirit and the teachings of the Catholic Church, Loving Choice extends God's love in the form of emotional, educational, material, and spiritual support to parents and families as they embrace the challenges of an unplanned pregnancy, just like we heard earlier in the show. They do free ultrasounds, they do free pregnancy tests, and they do free classes. It's really, really great, and it's all done by the volunteers there at Loving Choice. You can be one of those volunteers providing compassionate options without judgment or pressure. You can find out more about how to do that at loving-choice.org. Loving-choice.org. Always make the loving choice. And I do thank them very much for helping to sponsor this program. You are listening to the Catholic Lunch Break, and we will do this again next week. Until then, stay Catholic, Houston, and may God richly bless you.